You have to model, you have to verbalize, you have to discuss, and then you have to let her make some horrible decisions with some horrible dudes that you probably are never going to know about.
See, I'm back on my. There's too many niggas, I'm fooling these niggas. And how many niggas? It's two of these niggas, like booing them niggas. I'm doing these niggas, so who gon' deliver the news?
So, if you don't know, the intro song, the exit song, a lot of other songs, I made those myself, right? I've been doing that since I was 12, 13, 14, making rap music, stuff I want to hear, subjects I want to talk about with friends of mine, by myself, whichever. When the kids were younger, obviously, they've heard that music. I've made songs for them. I've made songs for their mother. So evidently, unbeknownst to me, really, the kids have been making fun of me making my own music and then listening to my own music. As if that's funny. No, as if, real songs come on the radio and they must be made by real artists and real studios, and you couldn't possibly make your own music and have it come out being real. Even though it's mastered, even though it sounds great to me, it's just the people in your family, they're corny, right? The parent, the step parent, corny. Everything I do, corny. I make my own t-shirts. If there's a t-shirt that I want to wear with a logo that I want, with colors and themes and everything, I got a heat press, I screen print, the whole thing. I like to be creative, and I like to sort of honor and illustrate my own thing, right? I want to define and set up my own brand. I want to do everything that I can by myself, for myself. So kids don't really understand that, because kids also don't understand how money works. They know parents have money, you ask for things, you get things, right? I say whatever age you are, everything's free when you're 8, everything's free when you're 12. You need new socks, you go to your parent and say, hey, I need new socks, and eventually, new socks. You need new shoes, all you got to do is say, I need new shoes, and eventually, shoes, right? And so they may not be what you want as a child. They may not be the perfect color, the perfect thing, the perfect style, but you're going to get them, and they're free. So it's shocking. I get a text, 15-year-old, 9th grade, and the text says, hey, I want to make a song. Can you help me make a song? And then I get a text, oh, for sure, right? I get another text the next day, hey, I want to make my own hoodie. Can you help me make a hoodie? And so the response is, yeah, now all of a sudden I'm not corny, right? Like when you want to express yourself in a creative manner, I'm not corny. Now I'm a lighthouse. Now I'm the beacon, right? Now I'm the guide that's going to help you figure everything out. Because what happens is the child becomes, or starts to invest in themselves and starts to see the world and how the world works and what things are valuable, right? I could never have expected anybody to find value in what I find value in when you're 8 and I'm 40. It just doesn't work there. We don't see the world the same way. When I was a kid, for all you Gen X people out there, Saturday morning cartoons. Biggest thing going, right? It's the most important, the coolest thing. You wake up early Saturday and you watch the cartoons for what seemed like all day, and then you go out and you play, and that's the routine. And every Saturday they'd have commercials for cereal, they'd have commercials for toys, they'd have commercials for theme parks, anything kid related, right? But I don't understand marketing. All I knew is around 10:30, 11, the commercials started to change. Sears would come on and go, hey, for Father's Day, your dad needs a tool chest. Your dad needs a reciprocating saw. Your dad. And I kept thinking, who would want tools if you could get toys? Like, who picks tools for their birthday or for Christmas or for something like that? Who picks that? Because that is my perspective at 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old. And as I grew, I always sort of laugh at that, because now I don't want any toys and cereal commercials. What tools do you have to sell? What can I build with these things? How can I become self-sufficient? And that's what's happening with the kids. So I chuckle where I realize that they are paying attention. I mean, we know they're paying attention to us, but this is the evidence of, I know what you do, and now I'm in a position that I want to do those things as well. And who better to ask than a person that I've watched do these things my whole life? And that's what I felt. I felt like I'd been accepted. Oh, all of a sudden, I'm not corny, right? All of a sudden, the ideas that I have are good ideas. The ideas that I have, you can see the value in. What happens is I realize that that kid is now approaching sort of an adult perspective, which means that you're now no longer, well, not no longer, but sort of aging out of me having to parent you versus me being able to sort of, have you enter into a peership, right? Where we're now seeing the world similarly and bouncing ideas off of each other and able to work together on arts and crafts and creativity and bills and taxes and all sorts of different things, right? And you input in your kid the best you can without any credit and without sort of any residual, I don't know, grace as their children. They don't say thank you to everything because they don't value everything, right? They don't see the value. But if you keep instilling and if you keep modeling, eventually when, they approach that adulthood, when they approach that place in their life where now they're trying to value the things that you value, that modeling is inside them. That modeling is like, it is part of who they are. It is the fabric of how they live their life. And so, of course, right? Because as the guy in the life, I feel like, oh my God, I'm accepted. I'm accepted by the one person that I want to be accepted by. Everybody else can go screw themselves. But if this kid thinks that I'm cool, I'm the coolest thing moving, right? If this kid thinks that the things that I have to offer are valuable enough to participate in, utilize, and then she's going to engage that with her friends, right? You're going to wear the hoodie in front of your friends. It can't be too terrible, right? And then they're going to ask you, where'd you get that hoodie? You're going to have to tell that story, obviously. They're going to hear your song. You're not making this song just so you can listen to in your Apple, what do you call those things? We call them headphones, but AirPods. You're not listening to these things just in your AirPods. They're going to get out. The boyfriend's going to hear it. He's going to think, this is a great song. He sends it to his friends. Especially in high school, it's easy to sort of disseminate your information, the information that you want out there in high school, right? It's the whole school is going to get attached to it. Your cousin goes to a different school. Your pseudo sister goes to a different school. So that's 3 schools worth of audience, right? Worth of potential audience. So if I'm valuable enough to input effort into a person who's potentially going to share this information with, I don't know, 3, 5, 10,000 other kids, then yeah, of course I feel accepted. And of course I feel like the work that I did and the modeling and the examples that I set up are good, right? She was playing Fortnite the other day. And in Fortnite, obviously, there's all sorts of guns and weapons and everything. And her favorite's this sniper rifle, which is highly impractical, right? But she liked it. It's got a scope and you bang, 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 and you could shoot people from distance. I said, hey, I have one of those. Do you want to learn how to shoot? Oh, yeah. I'm so excited. So we go to the shooting range and, she's able to test out a bunch of different guns and try different things. But it's things that I find valuable that then she finds valuable. She at least finds the experience, right? The learning effort valuable. And that makes all the difference. Right? That's the credit. After all of this giving discipline and lectures and modeling behavior and paying attention to how I talk and what I do, I finally see the direct payoff where the child doesn't feel like the discipline is an imposition in their life, but a valuable piece that's going to make them a better human. Right? And that turning point, I think, is what we as parents unconsciously strive for, right? Because especially if you don't have any kids or this is your oldest kid, or this is the first time, we know, when you grow up, you're gonna listen to my lessons, you're gonna love the value, but to feel and to be able to see that turning point where my jokes are not dad jokes funny, they're legit funny, right? These are jokes that you replay with your friends, that you take to your audience because you can see the kids, right? They can see the value in that. It's like some level of vindication and validation that I've never felt before in life. When you're a child, you want your parents to validate you, come see me at my game. Is this suit right? You ask all these questions, and then you get out into the world as an adult, especially like contemporarily as a man, right? You're out there working and dealing with bullshit left and right and center. And so you have to develop some sort of thick skin. You have to develop this discounting of what people think and how they feel about what I'm doing, because what I'm doing is what I think is the most appropriate thing to do. So it's irrelevant what these outsiders think. And then you go back to who validates me. And I've learned and I've felt this uncanny feeling of like, wow, that validation matters. It does give me a visceral response of like, yeah, all this work is not just keeping these kids alive and making them better humans and all those things. It is creating a person who cares, respects, and honors me. And you just don't get that every day. You just don't. You just don't get the feeling that a person that didn't want to have anything to do with you as a young teenager, that they do value who you are, not what you are, not I'm the parent, he's got some money and some lessons and a ride, but who am I as a person? This is a person who doesn't have to vote on me, especially for me as a stepfather, right? All I did was meet your mom and then hang out, and she got no say in how we interacted, no say in whether or not she wanted to interact. And so I will say, I'm feeling pretty good. Anyway, she wants to start a podcast. I'd like to think that it's because of me. It's probably because of one of her classmates that they all say, oh, he's got a podcast and he makes a ton of money. And now she wants to talk and gossip and do whatever it is that she wants to do. But I'm still going to take the credit because here I am having conversations into a camera. And yeah, set that podcast up. I got all the gear, obviously. So stay tuned for that, because if you think I'm not going to tag and connect her videos to anything I have going on, you are nuts, because I get to stand back and go, look at what I've created. And that is a feeling that I have been jealous of real parents this entire journey, right? I can't say they're good at sports, they get that from me. I can't say, look how tall they are, they get that from me. I can't say those things. But these are the nurture aspects of life, right? These are not the natural genetic things that I gave. These are things that being around me has created in you. And that is a different type of feeling and a different type of validation. And it's one that I'm sharing, and it's one that I'm proud of, right? I worked hard to get to a point where the kids, especially that one who didn't like me at the very beginning, would care enough, respect enough, like me enough, trust me enough to want to go in an avenue that I have clearly evidenced, right? So that's my confession. That's my confession for the week. I feel great because somebody 15 said I was cool. Basically. You guys have a great day. Keep parenting, keep pushing, and I'll see you on the next side. Have a great day.
Only mama and the Lord sing this eye like the homie coming over. Keep it closer to your heart. Spot God with your short ass arms.